30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It's a beautiful Tuesday in Nashville, Tennessee. We love our new digs, Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. Let me look around and take roll. In the very back, Battleground Academy graduate Butch Samide on campus. Now, you may or may not know this. Butch is Superman at Florida State. When you see that costume, the Superman costume, that's Butch Samide. Well done. Very well done. Good to have you with us from Tallahassee all the way back up to Nashville. Let's check in Murfreesboro with Kelly Holcomb. Kelly, I know the answer before I ask the question. Did you miss me?
Well, actually, I thought you was going to be gone today, or more like hoping you were going to be gone today. So
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Billy did a fine job yesterday. You know, we got froze up and I had to get on David a little bit, but other than that, we were good. But I guess if it's got to be good to see you, it's good to see you, George.
I don't feel any of the sincerity, no warmth. By the way, that thing you're wearing, where'd you get that? Table and rack back.
Hey, don't be hating on my shirt now if you want to see it. Don't be hate David and Billy know what's up.
Really? Do they?
Yeah.
Know? Okay.
They know what's up. They like it. They would trade.
Would they?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really? Billy, is that true?
It looks comfortable. It looks like it looks like a dry fit shirt.
Right. It's not a collared shirt.
Yeah, but it looks comfortable.
Right. But I mean, there has to be some etiquette to this, doesn't there?
Well,
really?
I mean,
you wear a 1997 Music City Bowl sponsored by Franklin Mortgage. Okay? I mean, so what are we talking about? That kind of threw the etiquette out, brother.
Good point. Billy, let's get to you. Let's blow him off here for a minute.
Okay.
So yesterday was the first time that I have not been here. And let me just say, for those of you who are praying for me, a colonoscopy is a very moving experience. That's one way of saying it. So this was the first time since we've started all this that you have hosted without your fearless leader being here.
Yes, it was.
Okay. What surprised you the most about doing this?
I would say the pace. I think we went maybe a little too long. I mean, it was a good time, it was a good show, but I got to work on the pace of the show because I think you do a better job of that.
Well, I mean, okay, like the first break, did you wait till like 2:45?
No, the first break was fine. Second break was fine, but we got into Kelly's World of Football, and I think I got
3:47.
Whatever. I think it was like 3:10. We finally got into
clear violation.
Clear violation. It was long. It was really long.
Tarifact or whatever.
I was feeling the pressure in that 3 o'clock hour.
Was Kelly helpful, a good teammate, or was he sort of picking at you?
No, he was helpful. It was
totally.
It was comforting to have Kelly as the co-host by my side.
Really?
Yeah. It was good.
How did David feel? David, apparently you took on some water yesterday with Kelly.
Yeah, it's just we had a little Wi-Fi connection issue when we had Chris Lee towards the end, but it all worked out pretty good. I was laughing at Billy yesterday. You know, Kelly revealed his top 10 quarterbacks of the NFL, 10 all the way down to 1. Well, Billy couldn't count he was forgetting the numbers as we went. So Billy looked a little nervous during Kelly's World of Football, but he got it together.
So hold on, Billy. Don't leave yet. I mean, I realize you're adjusting cameras and all that kind of crap.
I'm trying to get David centered.
I know he's off in left field somewhere there.
My OCD is kicking in.
So you had trouble counting to 10.
Well, I wasn't writing them down initially, and I kind of went 10, 9. I lost track of the player, and then I went, wait, was that 7 or 8? So,
okay.
But I started writing them down, and it got a little bit better.
Did you major in math?
No, God, no.
What did you major in?
Communications.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Well, obviously he's doing the show, George. He's the mainstay. He and David, if they weren't there, dude, this thing's not getting off the ground.
No. Kelly, thank you for stating the obvious.
Absolutely.
Do we have an update today? Did you have an update yesterday?
We did have an update yesterday, courtesy of David.
Really?
We start with
did he do a good job?
He did.
The update didn't take on any water.
No, I thought it was a very smooth update from David.
Okay, maybe you can learn from him.
Maybe I can. We've got some NBA playoffs to get into tonight. Game 1, Lakers and Nuggets at 7:30. Got a few nuggets of stat nuggets from David. I thought they're really good.
Do you?
LeBron James is 10-1 all time in the conference finals. That lone loss was in 2009 against the Magic. This is the eighth all-time playoff meeting between the Lakers and Nuggets. And the Lakers beat the Nuggets in the 2020 conference finals, in the bubble, of course. So there's some recent history between these two.
Yes,
But
there is.
LA has never lost a playoff series to Denver. They're 7-0. I think that's pretty notable heading into tonight's game 1. So we'll see.
Starting tonight
Doesn't
mean a damn thing.
You don't think so?
Not tonight. No, I do. Well, okay, let me ask you this. The 2020 thing, the bubble, do you think players put a ton of stock in that? Because that's the weirdest of settings. You got these fake people. Kelly, I wish you were one of those that we just put a sign there.
I saw a picture. I saw a picture of that last night when they were showing it about the bubble, about the the Lakers and the Nuggets playing again, and that was quite hilarious that we went through that.
This is a little better Denver than the Lakers have faced before.
Absolutely.
Good stats. Excellent stats.
Tomorrow, game 1, Heat and Celtics, 7:30. 6th all-time playoff meeting between the Heat and Celtics, 4th time in the conference finals. So they've
met a bunch.
They've become
recently.
familiar.
Yeah, they really. Familiarity breeds what, Kelly?
Familiarity breeds what? Tell me.
Okay, I mean, there's a saying: familiarity breeds. David, do you know?
I do know it, but I can't think of it.
I don't know where you're going.
Oh, gosh.
Contempt.
Yeah, you can't do that stuff to me and put me on a spot like that, George, because I would know it and still wouldn't think of it.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
Can the Heat win this series?
They could, yes.
Eh.
Do I think they will? Not really.
Not really. You wouldn't bet on them?
Jimmy Butler would have to wear that Superman outfit that Butch has. and hey, let's not put it past him. This guy hadn't exactly been chopped liver. Now, the rest of that unit, without Tyler Zero, did you like that? Without Tyler Hero,
I
think
the hero.
They lack one shooter, it seems to me. Duncan Robinson is a really good shooter, but cannot get his own shot. Tyler Hero can, and that's a loss for them.
You got to feel like their lack of depth potentially might end up hurting them in this series.
Could.
I mean, you go back and look at Kelly talked about their undrafted players. They got a lot of young guys that have had to step up. So
we'll see. You report on my weekend plaster bets of the day?
We did.
Oh,
we did. It was 2-0, 3-0?
Yeah.
Was it 2-0?
2-0. Kelly, did you just shrug it off?
Yeah, I mean, I was quite happy yesterday because you're 176 and 176, so you've caught back up there, Hoss.
Right.
I was excited for you. I'm sure you're excited.
Hold on. I believe we're past that now, are we not?
I think he was right at 500, right? Yesterday, Kelly?
After last night's game, he's now
after
one game
last
over
night's
500.
game.
Oh, yeah. We're over, baby.
We're cooking with gas now.
Okay.
NHL.
Yes.
Yesterday, Stars won Game 7 over the Kraken 2-1. They will face Vegas on Friday night.
That will be a good series.
Mm-hmm. And then you got the Panthers at the Hurricanes. That'll start Thursday night.
You know where we'll go there, Kelly.
Oh, absolutely. You always go back to the well.
Carolina, baby. Carolina.
I actually watched that Kraken game last night. I watched the majority of it. That was a defensive struggle until they had the fast break that kind of got out of hand right there, and that was a good play. But here's my thing, okay? Here's two things that astonished me. I know I'm getting into y'all's deal, but the NHL, the announcer, how does he go through that so fast? He's got to study a lot of names. He's got to figure out who's on, who's off, because they shift so much. And then the second thing, it gives me anxiety when the goalie gets out of the goal. Like, does he get frustrated, like, with not getting any shots? So he's got to go do something, and he goes and stops a puck behind the net. That gives me anxiety, because, like, I'm worried that he's not going to get back.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little play-by-play stuff here. You ready?
Yeah.
So when I do a football game, I have what is called, and this won't help it much, a big old spotters board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And in that spotters board, truthfully, I would learn in football the name and number of the skill people, probably 8 to 10 on each team.
Right.
The quarterback is Kelly Holcomb. The running back is Eddie George. The wide receivers are such and such. 8 is Holcomb. 10 is 27 is George. And you just keep going through those in your preparation and hope that it all sticks when you start the game.
And usually after about 5 or 10 minutes into the game, you get pretty used to it.
You got a pretty good idea. And you have a spotter that basically takes your defensive board and points to it. Tackle by, and he keeps pointing, 76, Williams. And so you're sitting there going, Holcomb gives to George, running right to the 25, out to the 30, into the 31. And this guy is pointing and saying, tackle by middle linebacker Isaiah Walker. Now
I know the football deal, but the hockey deal is a little crazy to me.
Yes, and look, it's made me wonder as well. People used to ask me, "Did you teach Willie how to do hockey?" And the answer is not no, but hell no, because some of the terminology I probably could do now. I probably know enough to get some terminology, but this whole learning 42 names, 21 on each side. Oh my God. Now
it's unbelievable.
You get the advantage. For instance, Willie, I know you'll appreciate this if you happen to watch it. So Willie would know the 21 names of the Preds. He knows those because, he does 80
does it all
of those
year.
a year.
Yes. Right.
But the visiting team trying to learn those 21, especially the first time they play that year.
Yeah.
That's got to be a little bit of a challenge. And truthfully, I don't know exactly how he and Pete Weber go about that. But I know this. Bob Wischusen, who did the game last night for ESPN, he is the New York Jets radio announcer, and I happen to think he is really good. Wischusen is one of the best.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah. Some of the others, I'm a big Wischusen fan. Now, Sean McDonough can really turn it on.
Yeah, he's really good too. I didn't realize he did that until I heard him, until I started watching and I heard him. He's pretty good too now.
He loved telling me about Savannah Jat from the Rangers. Savannah Jat. There's a name you don't hear very often. What else you got?
Sixers earlier today dismissed Coach Doc Rivers after being eliminated in the Eastern Conference semifinals for a third straight season.
When Herm and I get together at 3:00, that is going to come up. What do I think of his firing? I'd have fired James Harden.
That me too.
They're looking at James Harden's performance Sunday, pathetic.
Joel Embiid as well, for that matter.
Yeah. I talked to Billy and David yesterday about it too. Like, it gets you can't. It's hard to watch James Harden. I mean, he's a great player. He's probably going to go in the Hall of Fame. I get it, but like the ball gets stuck and there's no rhythm to their offense with him. None.
And the Sixers aren't keeping him.
Yeah, he's a free agent this year, and it's already came out that there's 2 teams on his wish list. It's the Rockets and the Phoenix Suns. So maybe a reunion with Kevin Durant out there in Phoenix.
Why they would want him is beyond me, because they got way too much offensive firepower to sit there and watch him dribble. Doc Rivers shouldn't have been fired.
Nope. I agree.
Really?
Totally.
I don't think so.
I agree totally.
So you're saying James Harden should have been released?
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, you know, there's machinery as to how you go about all this.
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, in the games where they didn't do well, he sucked.
Yeah. I brought it up yesterday in the fourth quarter of, I don't know if it was game 7s or simply playoff games. He's basically a 0. He just doesn't show up.
I think the beard gets in his way.
It is a big beard.
What else we got?
ESPN has released game times for college football opening week. LSU, Florida State, in Orlando will start.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Butch, make sure you take this down.
Will start at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC. So there you go.
Now,
Butch.
what date are we talking about?
Sunday, September the 3rd.
Okay, so it's the Sunday night Labor Day weekend game.
Yep.
Okay, what else?
Texas at Alabama, Saturday night, 6 o'clock on ESPN.
Nice.
I told David, Texas, it might well
Hook 'em horns.
upset the tide there. Who knows?
I don't.
You don't buy it?
The game's in Tuscaloosa?
Yep.
I'll take Alabama. Thank you.
Titans preseason schedule has been released. August 12th at Chicago at noon. August 19th at Minnesota at 7, and August 25th versus New England at 7:15.
So they will play on Friday night, the 25th. Who's doing that game?
Not sure. I mean,
It's a network. Otherwise, it'd be 7 o'clock.
yeah, not sure
One of the
who's doing that
networks.
game.
Okay, we done?
Yep.
After the break, Jeff Hem on the road with the Sounds. We got a lot of things to talk with him about, including what were the Sounds players' reactions to Mike Soroka. We had Soroka on Friday. I am absolutely wishing him the best, because if he ever returns to the 2019 Soroka, Braves. Kelly, you got that? We'll be doing that. Yeah. Okay, so stick around. We got a lot coming on the show. Herm Edwards at 3 o'clock. We'll get into how he would handle Ja Morant, our little problem child to the West. Stay tuned. We got more coming from the Ford Ice Center in Bellevue.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. Now that the weather has gotten considerably warmer, there's not a better place to spend a morning or an afternoon than Riverside Golf Links. So you've probably noticed the weather has gotten a lot warmer, and that means a couple of things in Nashville. It means baseball, and it really means golf. And for me, it's a visit to Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. There are now 27 holes, including a 9-hole executive course. If you want tee times or more information, dial them up at 615-847-5074.
You can't see the sights without the sounds.
from the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between. Discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Okay, as promised earlier, Nashville Sounds play-by-play voice Jeff Herm is about to join us. He's in Durham, North Carolina, where the Sounds go. They've been on a 6-game homestand against Gwinnett, and now they go on the road for a Tuesday through Sunday in Durham, North Carolina. So let's bring Jeff up and ask the question. This is not the ballpark where they taped Bull Durham.
No. That ballpark has long stopped being home of the Durham Bulls, but they do have, in homage to that ballpark, out beyond their blue monster, as they call it, in left field. I can see it right now. It's a large bull. It does light up. It says "Hit Bull, Win Steak," and then below it, where the bull is standing, it says "Hit Grass, Win Salad." So they've got a little bit of the Bull Durham touch to what is a beautiful ballpark here in Durham. And they've been here in this one for about 20 years now. It's a beautiful park here in Durham.
So for you, and you and I are both pretty hardcore baseball fans, is Bull Durham for you the best baseball movie ever?
Man, I would. It's not number one for me. It is high. It's great. It's a classic. It's up there. It's not number one, and I don't know if I have a no doubt number one. So maybe Bull Durham, I guess, is in effect. I mean, I like A League of Their Own. I'll put The Sandlot up there. Those are a few for me. I loved the Billy Crystal 61 movie that he did about Maris and Mantle. I thought that was really good. A lot of I would love, Kelly probably feels this way about any football movie, or any football that's in a movie. It's hard to get past the really unrealistic parts that end up happening in sports movies. For example, in A League of Their Own, the guy who's calling the play-by-play is also somehow over the PA system, which, is not how it works. And so, Bull Durham has a lot of things that I think are realistic for baseball, but in any sports movie, there are also those things that if you're at all in the realm of the industry, you're like, okay, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. And they're called movies for a reason. But for that reason, I can't go with really any of them as just a no doubt number one. The Sandlot too, at the end, he's nowhere near the microphone when he calls the play of the Jets stealing home. And, my kids just a few weeks ago watched Rookie of the Year for the first time, where the kid breaks his arm and then he throws 100 miles an hour and pitches for the Cubs. And John Candy is the announcer in that one. And he's nowhere near the microphone when he's calling the game because he's just getting so excited. I can't let that go. So anyway, you got me started on it.
Hold on.
George, with sports movies.
Let's take this a little farther. Let's bring Kelly in here. Kelly, what is the most realistic football movie that you've ever seen where you're like, wow, they really got this?
I don't know if you can get a realistic football movie. I'm like, Hollywood's going to creep in there at some point. They've got to make it sensationalized to a point where they can sell it. So I just don't know. I thought Draft Day did an okay job. There was some, I've told you, Any Given Sunday was awful. I walked into Any Given Sunday for 5 minutes. Me and my wife did, and I literally said, I can't take this anymore, honey. We got to go. I think Draft Day probably did about as good as you can do, but I don't know if there's ever really a realistic deal that you can with these movies because Hollywood's got to sensationalize it and make it live up to the expectations. So I just don't know if you can. Yeah.
I love Remember the Titans as a story.
It was great.
but the football content in there, I mean, these are high school kids and they act like they're tackling like they're NFL linebackers. I mean, it's
right.
But like you said, that's going to be part of it. I think in any movie, it's got to get sensationalized a bit to make it more action packed than it might otherwise be in a high school football game.
Okay, I'm going to bring one out that you got to go back a ways. These two over here have never seen this. North Dallas 40. You haven't?
Can't say I've seen it, George.
Neither one. Oh my God!
I've seen it. No, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it so long ago that I don't remember it. But that was a great movie. I mean, that was, and that was kind of the, before we had OTAs and all these big time training camps, and before we had all this money. I mean, North Dallas 40 was kind of like it was in the old days with the old Baltimore Colts and all those guys drinking beer in the off season and going to parties and doing crazy stuff like that. I remember that, but detailed versions, I don't remember that. But I have seen that movie, yes, several times.
Jeff, if you get asked tonight, and I don't think you will, the field goal kicker who missed the extra point, last name Preja.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Okay, so let's get rid of Kelly. We've had enough of him for a minute. I loved being able to do that. That really felt good.
Push him a button and he's gone.
It was great. Well done, David. Good work. You'll get a raise. Jeff, what did the Sounds, what was their take on Michael Soroka?
I think it's that he's close. I mean, I saw both ends of the spectrum in that outing from him. And if you look at the numbers, you're going to see an okay outing. He gave up some really hard contact, but he also struck out some guys that are not easy to strike out. I mean, the Sounds cleanup hitter, John Singleton, is as disciplined as it gets for a power hitter. He struck out both swinging and looking against Soroka. So I saw a lot of positives. If I'm a Braves fan or a Braves observer, or I'm rooting for Soroka to get back to the big leagues from purely a Braves standpoint, I saw a lot of positives there. I think it's similar to what we saw last week with both Dylan Dodd and Jared Schuster, the two younger guys. You could see the potential there. The consistency was not quite there, and I would imagine that's still to be expected to a degree for Soroka, but stuff-wise, it's there again, George. From what I saw, what did you see? And you said you got to catch up with Michael last week.
Yeah, we did. We did an interview with him, about 15 minutes worth. First of all, terrific interview. He told me that in 2019, it was something to the effect that home plate was like the size of a beach ball, and he said he felt like he could hit any spot he wanted in 19, and he goes, I'm not there yet. Mm-hmm. He said, but with each start, my misses are getting closer. He did admit that that he's been surprised by how much rust is a factor.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you mentioned it last week when we talked. He's been through, so much. It's pretty staggering the path that he's been on to try to get back. And also because he was so good in 2019 so quickly, the expectations, right or wrong, fair or unfair, are so massive for him that there's this clamoring to get him back to what is already a really good Atlanta team, which I would think makes patience even more challenging on the outside. And I would imagine Michael feels that then, whether tangibly or not, just, he knows what he meant to that team a few years ago, and he knows what they've done without him, and he knows, I think, what they can do with him. Anybody who's been through what he's been through on the injury front, you root for guys like that. I mean, I want the Sounds to win every game, but I'm a human, and I don't care what jersey a guy's putting on. If you've been through 2 years of injuries, God. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? All you want is for guys to be healthy so that they can show everything that they can do. And when guys have bad breaks or whatever it is related to their health, you just want them to get a fair shot on the field to get back out there. And I feel like Soroka's on his way.
I want to ask one more that involves a sounds player, and then we'll bring Kelly back up. We'll like be his parole officer and let him back in. John Singleton hits a ball Saturday night that is still traveling.
Mhm.
And you watch him up there, and he's got this Jordan Alvarez kind of body. And tell me, it looks like it's a better John Singleton than a year ago. Would that be accurate?
I think so. I think last year was truly a big comeback season for him. He had played a little bit in 2021 in Mexico, but he'd been out of affiliated baseball for, I want to say, about 4 years. And anybody who's not familiar with John's story, it's out there, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he doesn't hide from it. He would tell you, he's told me, I am a completely different person than I was when I was younger. And he served different suspensions through MLB and had some off the field issues. The guy's really seemed to clean up his life, get things back in order. And the talent has never gone away from a baseball standpoint. It's so fun to watch his at bats, George, because you can almost feel the nervousness of the pitcher, knowing that no matter what the count is, they have to be very careful with how they pitch John, because like I was saying, he struck out twice against Soroka. That doesn't happen very often for a guy who can hit it as far as John can, to not just go up there swinging out of his shoes all the time, to have the discipline, even on 3-0 or 3-1. If it's not where he wants it, he will take the walk. Not all guys are that way, especially when they know that even if they don't get all of it, they can still hit it out. His at bats are really fun to watch. It's funny to say that a guy can walk, and it was like a must see at bat, but the way he takes pitches and gets almost every single time into a count that he wants is pretty impressive. And he's also, for a big guy, very agile at first base. He's a good defender. And he's not a burner on the bases, but he's a smart base runner too. He's a very well-rounded player for a guy that you'd look at from afar and say, oh, there's the power guy. There's more to his game than power. It's pretty fun to watch over the course of the season. He set the Sounds walks record last year. I would not put it past him to surpass his own mark this year, just because the longer time goes on, the more sure he is of the strike zone. And the automatic ball strike system and the challenge system is an interesting case for John's at-bats, because he knows the zone so well. And you see these pitchers in the automated system games doing a double take, like, how did that miss? And then they look up at the video board where they show the strike zone. Sure enough, it was just a ball outside, and John looked at it, and he's not going to chase it. It's pretty fun to watch.
So Kelly has been paroled. Hopefully he's been rehabilitated. Let's bring him back up there. Kelly,
he's been out watching Dallas. What was it? North
Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40.
Yeah, you'll go home and hey, maybe on your downtime, maybe you can check it out.
I've got homework from George. I like when George gives me homework. I've got homework tonight.
Absolutely. So Kelly, I left you that obvious meat on the bone, that whole umpire strike zone stuff. So take it and go.
I'm not going to go there. I would go there, George, but I'm going to ask another outlandish question here, okay?
Oh, Lord.
Well, it's not no Lord, but like, I know that AAA has got these big cities they go to. I mean, bigger cities, Nashville. You're going to Durham this week. You know, it's not like some of the single A teams or the double A teams where you go to these really small towns. But how is the attendance at these AAA parks? I mean, do they give their hometown teams good attendance? Like, you know, Nashville's a big city. Durham is a bigger city, but it ain't the biggest city in the world. Some of these places that you go to, I mean, do they give good fan support to their clubs?
They do. Yeah, they largely do. Some places are struggling a little bit that we go to, but by and large, because of the size of the city, like you mentioned, we do see good crowds on the road. I mean, the Sounds the last 2 years have led all the minor leagues in home attendance. So they're sort of the gold standard right now. So nothing that we see on the road is going to really top that. But we do go to some great ballparks that really support their team well. And Durham here is one of them. We go to Charlotte. That's another good one. Some of the cities we used to go to in our previous league, and hopefully that now that they're in our league again, we'll go to like Des Moines, Iowa. They being a Cubs affiliate, they support that team really well. There are some places where they're struggling a bit. Memphis is one of those that used to be the gold standard, and hopefully someday can get back to that, because if you are a AAA team, it's probably because you are in a pretty good sized market. So there is the expectation that you're going to draw fairly well. Some parks are right downtown, some are on the outskirts, so that can factor in a little bit. But a lot of the places that we go to, you do see good crowds and a good atmosphere. But our players will tell you, and they're not just saying it because they're Sounds, they're saying it because a lot of them have played at AAA more than just with the Sounds in their careers, that there's nothing like Nashville. The atmosphere, the city, and kind of the energy in the ballpark, and teams love to come to Nashville to play against the Sounds just because they know there are going to be a lot of fans in the stands there. So nothing quite compares to it, but no doubt there are a lot of good ones around our league that we've seen. We were just in St. Paul. It's a smaller ballpark relative to the size of it, but the way they fill it is good. Toledo, Columbus, Ohio in our league, they do very well. And those are two downtown ballparks. So yeah, I would say for the most part, it's a really strong league in terms of the fan support.
Yeah, and I do remember being from Fayetteville, Tennessee, and playing in Little League and Babe Ruth. We would always take a trip up to the Nashville Sounds and get your little helmet with your little ice cream. Man, there's nothing better. So that's cool just to go out to the ballpark. But talking about the umpire stuff that George was talking about, everything's going technical now, Jeff. So is there? I mean, obviously you got to. Do we always have to keep? Which, it's a traditional deal, but we're always going to keep umpires in the game, like calling balls and strikes, or is it going to get to a point where they're just going to use technical stuff, like digital stuff, to call balls and strikes? Will that ever happen? Surely not.
Well, it's happening right now as a testing ground. Half of our games are using what's called the automatic ball strike system, the ABS, where the home plate umpire, he's standing behind the catcher like he always has, but he's wearing an earpiece that tells him what to call, ball or strike, based off the computer system strike zone relative to the batter, how big he is, how big his strike zone is, and it's relaying to him ball or strike. They're doing that in half of our games. The other half is using what they call the ball strike challenge system, where the plate umpire calls balls and strikes like he always has, and like you're just describing the human component, he's calling it like he sees it, ball strike. Each team gets 3 challenges per game. If the batter feels like a strike was a ball, or if the pitcher and or catcher is a tandem, or one of those two thinks a ball was a strike, they immediately, they have to do it right away. They can't get help from the coaches in the dugout who've got the iPads. They immediately they tap their head. That's the signal. Hey, I want to challenge that. The home plate umpire taps his head. It signals upstairs. And what's cool about it, they then show on the video board in all these ballparks so that everybody can see it, where it was. They show the simulation of the pitch coming in. And if it was right or wrong, it either is upheld or it's reversed. It takes about 15, 20 seconds. It's very quick. It's very obvious to see, and they move on from it. And I love it. And everybody I've talked to with our team, because we saw it for one series late last year in Charlotte. They were the testing ground last year. Now it's all of AAA is doing this. The challenge system is great because, in my opinion, it marries everything that you just described in your question together. It acknowledges that the home plate umpire, more times than not, is right, and these guys are really good.
They're really good.
It keeps the human element, which I am all for, but it gives the teams recourse that if they feel like something was crazy, they can challenge it as long as they have a challenge left, which brings me to also why I like it. There's strategy to it. You want to burn all 3 challenges in the first inning? You can. If you win a challenge, you retain it. So it's really 3 lost challenges per game. The Sounds got into a situation the other night where in the 8th inning, they used their last challenge and did not win the challenge. There was nothing, I don't think, really that crazy the rest of the game where they were like, oh, man, wish we had a challenge. But there's that risk when you're down to 1. Do you want to challenge it or not? I love the challenge system because there's also a lot of catchers in the big leagues who are making a lot of money because they're really good at framing pitches, getting balls into strikes for their pitcher. That part of it still matters in the challenge system because that can influence the call, and then that can then influence, do I want to challenge that from whatever vantage point you're coming to? If it were up to me, and honestly, if it were up to a lot of guys on our team and around the Brewers organization that I've talked to, they would go to the challenge system right now. The automatic ball strike system is odd. It's weird. Catchers can catch the ball wherever they want, but if it went through the zone, even though I caught it way out here, it's going to signal to the computer that it's a strike. So there's a little bit of interesting optics with that one in how the catcher might receive the ball. So we're the testing ground. Now, look, major league level, they've got a lot of things now that they tested down here over the last few years. Runner at second in extra innings, pitch clocks, a lot of, in my opinion, positive things. We're all new to the shift rules. We weren't the testing ground for that, but other levels of the minors were. So you can see where this is going. Major League Baseball typically doesn't test something unless they really think it could work for their level too. I would go to the challenge system. I think it's great. I think that way in the bottom of the ninth of the World Series, if there's something crazy and a team wants to challenge it, it doesn't decide the season on a quote unquote bad call. But for the most part, we also need to acknowledge that these umpires, 99% of the time, aren't just right. They're really good. And that's where I think the challenge system keeps their job intact the way we've always known it. So I feel strongly about the challenge system. I'm hoping that by July, MLB has enough of this sample size where they say, all right, you know what, we've heard from enough people. We're going to the challenge system the rest of this year at AAA. But as of today, for the rest of our season this year, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games are the automatic ball strike system. The Friday, Saturday, Sunday games are the challenge system. That way, at the end of our year, MLB can go to all these AAA teams and say, what'd you like, what'd you not like, and get the feedback to decide what they want to do in 2024.
Nice.
Kelly, we're going to run on that since we do need to go to a break. Jeff, I hope you enjoyed it. Your info was terrific.
Wow.
And hope you enjoyed coming on today. Thank you.
I always do. Good seeing you, fellas.
North
Thanks,
Dallas
Jeff.
40. The kicker's last name is Prescia.
Okay. I'm on it.
See if that wins you anything in trivia.
See you guys.
Okay, we'll go to the break on that. Our thanks to Jeff Herm for joining us. And after the break, we will discuss this question. If LeBron were to win it all this year and go to 5 titles, what does that do to his legacy, let's say, compared to Michael Jordan, who has 6? Now let's talk Music City Grand Prix, the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix, August the 4th through the 6th. It's an entire weekend with not only great racing, a ton of music. There are a bunch of people out there, and now I'm about to be one of them, who has never been to this race. But those of you who in the last 2 years have gone have come away saying it's one of the coolest things you've ever gotten to see. I have taken Liz Allison up on the invitation. You're darn right I'll be there. I can't wait to see what this is all about. I know that there's a lot of speed. I know there are great drivers with incredible skill. And now you start putting all these football stadiums around it. It looks like a really cool deal. There are tickets on sale, and they have been on sale now for a couple of weeks. You ought to experience this as well. MusicCityGP.com. Again, MusicCityGP.com.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
For over 35 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been committed to providing customized banking solutions to help individuals, families, and businesses in Tennessee achieve their goals. As your full-service community bank, we are proud to offer loans with competitive rates, local decision-making, and fast, friendly service from our experienced lenders. No matter where you are on your financial journey, Wilson Bank & Trust is ready to help you take the next step. Visit your nearest Wilson Bank & Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at BairdDifference.com.
We are back. Here are a couple of things that have crossed my mind over the weekend, because when you're getting a colonoscopy, you have a lot of time to do several things, one of which is to actually think a little bit. So I have been late to the party on the Lakers. Now, I did take them Friday night. They mangled Golden State. They beat the ever-living snot out of Golden State to a level that I'll admit I didn't see coming. Going into this year, Michael Jordan has 6 world titles with the Bulls. LeBron, 2 with Miami, 1 in Cleveland that to me is his greatest achievement, and 1 with the Lakers in the bubble. So the question comes up, if the Lakers are good enough to get by Denver and then win the NBA title. And by the way, I don't think they're good enough to get by Denver. I think Denver is the real deal. And I think we're going to find that out. But whatever, I've been wrong a bunch, and I'm probably wrong here. So, Kelly, the older generation like me wants to say, man, you young people have never seen Jordan. You never saw the level of competitor he was. But I got to be honest, in trying to be fair, whatever the gap has been, LeBron has closed that gap closer than I ever dreamed he could.
That's funny you're asking me that, George, because I just was talking to my son before we got on the air about that same thing, because I told Billy yesterday, I don't understand why I'm for the Lakers. You don't know why you're for a certain team. You know, I can remember when I was a kid, we were all kids at some point, and we got mad if, like, we would go for the team that was winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're competitive, you was like, well, they're winning, I'm for them. Well, they're winning, I'm for them. And then when you get older, you pick it. I don't know why I'm for the Lakers. I don't know if it's because of LeBron. I think, and he asked me this, Jordan or LeBron, and we're all Jordan guys. I'm a Larry Bird guy too, Larry and Magic. I'm those guys as well. But the guy, I mean, he's been to 11 finals, George. I think it's 11. Yeah. And he's taken some teams that probably didn't deserve to get there. So, you know, Jordan had the supporting cast with him when
and Scotty.
Yeah, he had Scotty. Then he had the John Paxsons and the Steve Kerrs of the world. He had your buddy, you know, Will Perdue and Bill Cartwright and those guys. He kind of had he stayed there. It's not like LeBron. LeBron has left, and LeBron knew that if he wanted to win a championship, I think he thought that he had to leave and go to Miami. He won 2 there and then went back to Cleveland. And I'm with you. I think that was an unbelievable thing he did. And I'm starting to get to the point, I think, kind of like you, that there's something to this. This guy, I mean, he's really an exceptional player. I mean, he's got the physique. He was freakish coming out of high school. I can remember playing for the Browns, and a bunch of our guys would go down to St. Vincent, St. Mary's and watch him play. And they would come back and they're like, this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, you know, he didn't go to college. He went straight to the pros. He's the leading scorer. If he takes the Lakers this year to the finals and he wins the finals, that may be the greatest thing that he's ever done, because they started off 2-10, George.
Yeah. How about that?
The reason that they're in this situation is because their GM made a trade for all these guys that can play. And it doesn't have to rely on him now. I mean, Anthony Davis is an unbelievably talented guy, and we've talked, multiple times on this show about when he's ready to play and he plays, hard to beat the Lakers. Now, sometimes he doesn't want to play, but now he's got the cast of characters, the Austin Reeves kid. He's got, he's got the Rui Hachimura kid who's shooting the lights out. He's got the D'Angelo Russell. He's got guys around him that can actually play. So I don't know if they can beat the Nuggets either. I think they're really good. But I think with the way that LeBron is and the way that he can will people to do things, kind of like Jordan did, I don't know. I'm interested to see it. I really am. I'm interested to see this 7-game series.
8 to 10 years ago, I was not open-minded to this conversation.
Right.
I was, you never saw Jordan. You have no idea. But I got to be honest. I am, that thing about 11 NBA finals, that means you had to win 33 series just to get to the NBA finals. I mean, that is a massive accomplishment.
It's amazing, George, if you think about what he's done. And then he's so physically gifted and he's so big. Like when he gets ahead of steam going down the lane, I'm not getting out of his way. I mean, I'm not getting in the dude's way. He's that big. He's that talented. And when I really like what he's done this year, though, watching him in the playoffs. Like, he's let these other guys, have some reign. I mean, he's let Anthony Davis have some reign, but man, he still turns it on. And when his competitiveness starts coming out and he refuses to lose, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat, George.
I can't wait to see where this is going. I know now, for me, it's worth a real discussion. This is not the last time we're going to bring this up. After the break, we'll get to stat of the day. I see Coach Herm Edwards with all those footballs in the background. Herm, give me a thumbs up. I know you're there. Atta baby. We'll bring him up. We got a lot to talk to him about, and it's not all football, because after all, he is the worldwide leader's voice of reason. And don't anybody forget it. Stay tuned.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? How?
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Forget the fact that Sir Speedy Music City is owned by my BGA classmate James Warren. Their work stands on its own merit. James and his staff do incredible work, as evidenced by the huge banners at the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. If you're looking for quality to help your marketing and business communications and you want it at a reasonable price, these are your folks. Call them at 615-832-9511 or go to print at sirspeedymusiccity.com. And be sure to tell them Plaz sent you.
This is my buddy and former Nashville Sounds PA announcer Eric Berner. I always laughed in the old days at Greer Stadium when I would walk in, Eric would immediately play my favorite song, Van Halen's Jump. But then I learned he actually has a real job with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors.
Yeah, George, that's what I do. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. Everybody's situation is different, so I use a customized and individualized, personalized approach to the person I'm working with. Old 401ks, retirement planning, insurance planning, inheritance planning. Those are things that people like to get some more information about.
One of the things I find is people don't even know where to start, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, so I can usually help people with an initial phone call or meeting that is a no charge and no obligation.
And I'll bet you have a phone number and a website.
I do, George. They can call me at 615-235-1058 or rockcastlewealth.com or Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
Hello, this is Celeste Middleton, a State Farm agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to help my neighbors and local businesses be proactive and assess their risk before something unexpected happens. We want you to have a thorough understanding of your coverages to have the best protection when you need it. We can create a personal price plan for you. Our team has over 70 years of experience helping people in Middle Tennessee. We have an awesome team with integrity and provide honest and prompt communication, and we love what we do and genuinely care about everyone we work with at our office. Give us a call at 615-895-2700. Send us a message at celestemiddleton.com or walk in at our office at 803 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. We would love to earn your business.
Welcome to John English Antique Sports and Cards, located at 204 East Depot Street in beautiful downtown Shelbyville, Tennessee. Their phone number is area code 931-492-4304. John, obviously, I've been blown away by what I've seen at your place. I've now been there 3 times. But for the person who's never been, what should they expect?
Well, we have a 3,000 square foot store, George. Half of it is vintage cards in all sports. And then half of the store is, a lot of people call it the museum, where there's a lot of early equipment and just the history of sports in general. Baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis, and other items.
When somebody comes in there that you know is a big sports fan, what is their normal reaction?
Well, I think that they're pleasantly surprised, and of course, being in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is a small town that you would never expect a shop like we have to be in. So they're kind of, I don't want to say blown away, but as I said, pleasantly surprised.
Welcome back in. It is time for Kelly Holcomb's favorite segment of the show. It is time for Stat of the Day, presented to you by John English Antique Sports and Cards, located in Shelbyville, Tennessee. You can find them at 204 East Depot Street. They're open during the week, Tuesday through Friday from noon to 5, and on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So give them a visit or give them a call at 931-492-4304. We're going to Major League Baseball today. Last night, Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs in the Yankees' win against the Blue Jays. Since his Major League debut in 2016, Judge has hit 229 home runs, the second most in the MLB during that span of time. Can you name the only player in the MLB right now with more home runs than Aaron Judge since 2016?
Oh, Lord. and I'm the baseball guy in this.
Yeah, you are.
No Danny Evans for help today. Sorry about that.
No. I'm going to take a wild stab at this. Kelly, first of all, have you got a name?
Well, I was just thinking about Vlad Guerrero. I mean, would he be up there?
Run it up the flagpole, and then I'm going to give you the one I've got. Is Vlad Guerrero that answer? Okay. Here's mine. Bryce Harper. Yeah, I don't like the question. Wow.
Good guesses.
Good guesses. It doesn't do
Vladdy
you.
Jr. hasn't been in the league long enough since then.
But Bryce Harper has,
but he's battled some injuries as well.
Yeah, and that hurts it.
This guy you would never think of.
I know. Go ahead and give it to me.
Nolan Arenado.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes.
Great hitter.
Coors Field effect as well.
Yes. But I don't think of I know he had a 40 some odd homer year. Nolan Arenado in Colorado was the most underappreciated superstar going. Great glove. Big fan of Nolan Arenado. Good question. I wouldn't have gotten that in a million years.
Me neither.
Kelly, guess what?
What's up, brother?
It's time for the great Herm Edwards.
There he is.
Worldwide leader, voice of reason.
Good afternoon, man.
What's up, Coach?
That baseball one was hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
That's a tough one. I kind of overheard the conversation about Michael Jordan and obviously LeBron James, and that is one I think generationally, different generations will look at it a little bit different. It'll be an argument that will never be settled, I don't think.
No.
But both of these guys were. I kind of grew up with Jordan as well. I'm even older than that. I go further back than that. But I mean, the guy that kind of like, whoa, who is this guy, right? And now you see LeBron James. And this is one that's just difficult for me, just being a fan. For baseball, not hard. Football, not hard. This one's hard. For football, it's Jim Brown for me.
Yeah.
For baseball, it's Willie Mays for me.
Nice.
But this basketball one, this is a tough one.
No, and it's getting. He has closed the gap farther than I ever dreamed he could.
Yeah, it's funny because both of them have LeBron took a little bit different path. And I've always said this. LeBron reminded me a little bit of Captain America. And that's Tom Brady. When Tom Brady left, he went to Tampa Bay, and everybody said they're going to a Super Bowl. They did, and they won. When LeBron left, wherever he left, he took them to the championship game, won titles.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan didn't do that because he stayed on the same team, and that he had a team. It's a different era of players in today's world. It's hard to keep a team. They got these, what they call, you got to, now guys come together and get the three guys figure it out. Well, it's three guys. If we get us three real good players, we got a chance. LeBron was in that era. But by him showing up, I mean, guys, he took the Miami Heat to he took Cleveland. LA, when you go to LA, look, I'm a Laker fan. When you go to LA, they hang banners. Okay, that's what they do. They hang banners. There's no doubt. You go to the Boston Celtics, they hang banners. That's why both of them have 17 banners. They sit up in the rafters, right? So the LA thing didn't surprise me. I said, yeah, LA's easy. He got to win one there. But Miami and Cleveland, that took some playing there now, guys.
Cleveland is the one to me that's the greatest accomplishment. They're down 3-1. They have no business winning, and he absolutely willed it.
Yeah, no doubt. Miami a little bit is interesting because they're built similar like the Lakers. Pat Riley. Coach Spo is a Hall of Fame coach. He's been an outstanding basketball coach. There's no doubt about that.
So I'm going to go. I'm not going football at the beginning, and I want to get your reaction here, Herm. The Memphis Grizzlies are 200 miles to the west. And while there's almost a separation as though they're in Arkansas or Mississippi, it's like you get to Jackson, Tennessee, and up here, there's not as much caring about Memphis. Down there, there's not as much caring about Nashville. But right now, it seems to me their franchise is at a total crossroads with this second gun thing with Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And so if you're the coach and you've got this talent, and clearly this guy is unbelievable, as a coach, can you do anything to help this?
Well, I think after the first, obviously, incident, and I tell this to young people all the time. I just tell it to anybody that I'm visiting with at times, especially when you have a little bit of fame and you have the ability to really build your brand and build a brand personally of your own and the organizations you play for, especially at the professional level or at any level, really. And I learned this at a real young age is you got to choose your friends. You don't allow them to choose you. And a friend will never allow you to put yourself in a position where it's not a good one. The situation, this last situation, obviously, this was puzzling to me because if his friend took the video, why would you do that? Why would it even get to that? Right? I mean, don't press send, man. You don't do stuff like this. You just don't. If that's your guy, I mean, you don't. And if it's not your guy, then you don't need to do that. I mean, he was in a situation. It scratches my head when I see this and I heard what happened. I said, what? I said, who's his buddy? What is he doing? Does he know what he's doing right now? Right? But obviously, they're going to have to sit down and talk to the young man. And, there's a lot of things that's going on with this. And look, he has a right to own a firearm that he just does, right? And where he lives and all that. I get all that. But with that and who he is, there's a different standard you gotta live. And we all make mistakes. And he's a young guy, and hopefully we'll move past this. But this is just another thing, right, on his plate. And hopefully he gets through all this. But man, choose your friends.
Yeah, and there is so much at stake. I mean, this guy is about to make a bloody fortune. His endorsement deals are huge. I mean, he is risking so much for the opportunity to show everybody a gun in a video. I don't get it. You're looking at me with the same puzzled. I don't get it.
It's puzzling, but then again, it's and I'm not, here's the old man sitting on the porch, this generation, I get all that, but certain things you just don't do. That's one hey man, I just already talked to the commissioner about this, right? I better be careful, be careful, just be careful. That's all.
Okay. I think I know before I ever start where you would stand if I say Doc Rivers shouldn't have been fired today. I've always thought in basketball that he's got a little bit of you in him. Voice of reason.
Yeah.
I remember what he had to deal with the Clippers when Donald Sterling showed his backside. I just don't think he deserved this today.
Well, this is, basketball coaches, they're in peril. It's a 2-year job. It's like NFL coaches. You get 2 years, your third year, if you're not winning, you're out. It's just, and Doc said it. He said, I want to come back, and and I just think the powers to be, media, expectations, all these things. Look, Doc got these guys in a situation where they're going to go back on his records in final games. Well, I spin it this way. I want a coach like that because eventually he's going to win one. He gets to he gets to those games. He gets there. I want a coach that can get us there, right? Eventually it's like players. Eventually they got to win one, right? So I just think, I know Doc personally, class guy, class man, handles the players in a way where he gets after them. He gets after them. I mean, he made James Harden understand the importance of his role. Now it's a little bit different, and James bought into it. And they, and they had a great run in Boston. No one picked the Sixers even to get there this year. That's the crazy part. But I get it. It's in Philadelphia. Hey, when that media gets going and it starts coming downhill, man, it's hard to hold it off.
Okay, before I turn you over to Kelly, this is a weird question. Have you watched any of these spring leagues this year? And if you have, do you think the quality has gotten better, in particular XFL?
It's gotten better. I watched it from the beginning when it first started to the end. I watched the championship game, obviously, and it's ironic, right? I mean, the 10-1 team loses to a 5-6 team in the championship game. And so there's parity. You want parity? That's parity. But I thought the players got better. The coaching got better. There's been some guys signed out of that league that'll have an opportunity in NFL. Now the USFL is kicking up. I can remember the USFL when I was playing. That's the Herschel Walker deal, right? And those guys and Steve Young, they were trying to merge with the league, and eventually, those guys came to the NFL. But I like it in this sense. It gives coaches opportunity. It gives players opportunities. Trainers, equipment men, all those guys, GMs. It gives everyone an opportunity that the NFL people are looking at, regardless of what job you have. So I've always been an opponent. Look, if you get another opportunity to do this and showcase some people that maybe need a chance and now they're in football, that's a good thing.
Kelly, take it away.
Coach, getting on the XFL, man, I tried to watch a little bit, and I agree with you. I think it's gotten better. I mean, I agree with you, but it's just hard to watch football in springtime. It's just hard to watch football at this time of year.
It is. But, Ken, let me ask you this. A couple of the rules they have in there are interesting.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the kickoff rule is kind of an interesting one, to slow the collisions down, but you still got to return the ball.
Still got to do it. I get it. Yeah.
Right? The punt thing is interesting. This one's kind of out of the box. Not kicking a point after you score.
Right.
That's kind of like, oh, boy.
Yeah, that's different.
Right? So, I mean, there's some things there you look at, right, that you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think when you do look at the kickoff stuff, I mean, I did watch that and I saw that and I'm like, if they want to cut down, everybody's talking about concussions. If they want to cut down, that's a way to do it. I mean, maybe the NFL comes to something like that. I don't know.
And you have to return the ball, right?
Right.
You got to return it. You're going to get a return. And that's
right.
What, now the way they kick the ball, you never get a return unless it's cold or the wind's blowing. They're going to kick the ball in the end zone. You take the ball. It's okay. That's it. It's almost like, why even need the kicker? Just put the ball at the 25 and play.
That's right. So yesterday I presented my top 10 quarterbacks.
Ooh.
And we're going to do this. We're going to stay in Dallas because Dak was in my top 10. I really like Dak. He's gotten paid.
Yeah.
My question to you is, with the guys that he's got around him, he's got Brandon Cooks now.
Yes.
They brought in who can run. He's got, that'll complement CD Lamb. They let Ezekiel Elliott go. He might come back. Who knows?
Yep.
Do you think
Zeke's done?
You think he's done? Okay.
Yeah, okay. They needed to move on. They got to move on.
Okay. So, I'm that way too. But do you think Dak can get them to where they want to be?
You look. I think Dak is a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. You can say
absolutely.
Top 10. Yeah. Look. And you know this. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right? Right. We can say the great ones. Well, there's been more really solid quarterbacks to win Super Bowls than the great ones.
Right.
That's a fact. That's just is. If you look at the history of it. The problem is not Dak. It's the Dallas Cowboys mindset when they get into the playoffs. Look at their playoff record.
Yeah.
That is bewildering to me. It's almost like the star gets dull. They get in the playoffs and all of a sudden, what just happened to these guys? They have good players. They're gonna win. They're gonna win at least 12 games this year, unless they just play bad. But they're gonna win at least 12, right? They're gonna compete with Philadelphia in the NFC East. Washington will be better if the quarterback can kind of play. They'll be better. They're hard out. The Giants will be better, but the Dallas Cowboys will be right in it. But they got to win a playoff game. Just win one. Just win one. Not even. I'm not even asking them to win two. Just win one. Figure out how to win one. Well, and then I think they knock that ghost out of the room. The ghost leaves the room. But that's their problem.
It's really amazing when you look at it that they haven't really done anything since Trakeman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, the Jimmy Johnson era. They haven't done anything.
You guys got a stat guy there. In the last 25 years, how many playoff games have they won?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It ain't a handful.
No.
Right?
No.
It's just like, and it's the Cowboys. It's like, hey, they're going to have a good team.
Right.
You know? Can they win a playoff?
And with that being said, they get rid of their offensive coordinator. So was there clashing there? I mean,
I think Mike, and I know Mike. I hired Mike.
Right.
He worked with me in Kansas City when he's a young coach. Mike wants to run the ball a little bit more.
Okay.
Why? To protect his defense.
Right.
To protect the quarterback.
Okay.
To slow the game down some, right?
Okay.
He wants to be more of a play action guy, but he wants to run the ball, and he wants to run the ball inside. See, and then that's why I said, to me, the Dallas Cowboys needed to draft Robinson.
Yeah, I agree.
That was the guy. I said, if they get, because I know Mike, he wants to run inside the tackles. He wants to pound you and beat you up.
Right.
That's how he wants to set the game plan. He's going to pound you now. And then from there, everything kind of flows, right? So they went and got it back. I get all that. But he's going to run the ball more. That's going to help that. It'll help the defense. Because the defense is a good defense. They take the ball away. They do a nice job. They can play with a lead. They got guys come off the Parsons. I mean, he might want to be one of the best players in the league defensively. And so they got secondary guys that can steal the ball and give you extra possessions. They can do all that. But they do that during the season. And then all of a sudden the playoffs roll around and it's like, what just happened to these guys? Right? I don't know. It's puzzling.
Okay, so let me just ask you this: is that pressure? I mean, we all live under pressure when we play in that league. You coach there, you live under pressure, but does that kind of permeate down from the top with Jerry Jones? I mean, he won 3 back in the day. I mean, does that permeate down to him? Do those guys feel the pressure in the locker room from him?
I think they hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
The season, to me, the season don't even count for these guys anymore. When you talk about Dallas, I said, don't tell me about the season. You don't even, it's like, hey, stop the season talk. They win games. Can they win big games when they get into playoffs? That's the next. See, if Dak Prescott does that, oh boy. Yeah. Oh boy. You think they really like him? They'll have a ticket. They'll have a parade for him. Right? I mean, really, think about it.
Right.
Their last Super Bowl.
But okay, so
give it to us. Give me some stats.
Yeah, their last Super Bowl was in 1995. Since then, they have won 5 playoff games.
5.
Haven't been to the conference championship since.
So let me ask you this. So how many years is that?
95.
28.
28 years.
So what you're telling me, in 28 years, they've won 5 playoff games.
Correct.
Jeez.
Kelly, 28 years.
That's
5
amazing.
playoff wins. How about them Cowboys?
I didn't realize that, man. I did not. I knew that they've been bad, but good gracious. 5?
Oh, no. So 28 years, 5 playoff wins. Come on, man.
So let me ask you this. So Mike McCarthy being in Green Bay, it was different because he had Aaron Rodgers, he had Brett Favre, he had all that. He didn't have a defense.
No.
Now he's got a defense that's probably one of the, if not the best, one of the better ones in the league. So is that where this is coming from? I mean, if he goes down, he's going to be the one calling it.
Oh, no doubt. And he's going to rest his defense. That's why he wants to run the ball. He understands, I got to rest my defense. Right. And I want to play in the fourth quarter with a lead and continue to protect them running the football, making first downs and methodically moving the ball, not 3 and outs. I can't have 3 and outs in the fourth quarter when I got a lead. I'm playing against the clock now. You know that, Kelly. You play quarterback. You're playing against the clock. The opponent don't matter. Every time we make a first down, that's another 4 minutes off the clock. We're good, boys. We're playing good football.
Right. So you answered it. So let me ask you this. Is Micah Parsons the best player in the league?
Oh, he's close now. He's
defensively, yeah. I mean, don't you think?
Yeah, he's spectacular. Now, I tell you what, now, I ain't going to put him here yet. He's not like that guy that used to play with the Giants that wore 56 now.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, no. No. Look, I remember when Lawrence was playing now, and I was a defensive guy. I used to get up and watch him. I said, I got to watch this dude because he wrecked the game. He just wrecked the game, man. It was like unbelievable. Fast run. And you never knew what he's going to do. And that's what they're doing with Parsons a little bit. They're smart. They move him around. He's like the Joker of the defense. Sometimes he's rushing. Sometimes he's dropping. You don't never know where he's going to line up. I think they do a great job with him because he is a guy. He can wreck the game now. He's a big-time player. There's no doubt about that.
Now, I got one last question for you, and this goes back to your knowledge of the game a long time ago. You playing the game, how has the game changed? Because this is where I'm getting this, because they had 2 first-round running backs this year, which that never happens in today's football. Now, back in the day when you played, the running back was the commodity. Right. I mean, you just talked about Jim Brown. Yeah. I got to see Barry Sanders up close and personal. It was different back in the day, but now the game has changed so much. It's a passing league. It was a passing league back then, but the running backs were more of a commodity back then. Whereas today, not really. And I'm with you. I thought Dallas, if they were smart, I thought they should have traded up to get Bijan Robinson. I really did. I thought he was kind of the missing link to those guys. But how has the game changed being a running back centered place to now a passing deal?
Well, I think the running back now, the corner, what kind of running back you have and who the coach is. Mike's still an old school coach. So he gets, I want to run the ball because it's kind of ironic now because most teams are set to play third down.
Yep.
You don't play with big linebackers anymore. Right. And so when you think about it, it's a spread formation. You're playing with 3 wide receivers, a tight end in the back. And every once in a while, the teams that get you are the teams that play physical, a la San Francisco. Play with some tight ends, give you that methodical, they beat you up. And defensively now, you're not set to play that type of game because they attack every blade of grass now on offense, the way they throw the ball. The ball is thrown on the perimeter, on the edges, right? Yep. They're attacking safeties. They're attacking linebackers in the passing game. That's where the passing game's at, right? So now when you convert back to I'm going to run the ball, it's like, really? We're not set to do that. And then they think, well, they're only going to run it a couple plays. They're going to start passing again. When you have a team that can run the football, you shorten the game, your opponent all of a sudden has to play the run.
Yep.
Most of those D linemen don't want to play the run no more. They want to go sack the quarterback. They want to get on SportsCenter, right? They don't want to play in there. Man, I'm getting double teamed, really, on run game? I don't do this. So I still believe this in football. To score, you got to throw it. To run the ball, you got to win. That's how you win, running the football.
Right.
You got to find a way, and you know this. When you got a lead, man, you're not, the opponent you don't worry about it. You're playing the clock now. And how can I make some 3 or 4 first downs to keep my defense off the field to allow these guys only 1 possession rather than 3?
That's correct.
That's still the game.
That is the game.
They can sugarcoat it all they want. That's the game. And, when you get inside the 5-yard line, let me tell you something. If you got to throw 3 passes to score a touchdown, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. I hated that crap. Yeah.
It's awful. A guy like me, I sit and watch that stuff. I say, what are we doing? If you're an offensive lineman, you're like, are you kidding me right now? Coach, why are you throwing the ball?
But that's how we're talking about Dallas. That's how Dallas was so good because when they got down to they could run the dadgum ball, they let Troy get them down there and Michael, and then Emmitt Smith would take it the rest of the way. That's how they won so many games.
Look, man, first of all, a lot of those guys that play in the back end of the defense, they don't want to tackle.
No.
They don't want to tackle no running back. They want to tackle a quick screen. They don't want to tackle a running back. Not really say, man, I'm a cover corner. I mean, I don't do this, right? You're playing with, a lot of teams play with 9 guys because the corners don't really want to tackle, and they don't have to because they're out there on the high wire rack. They're covering man-to-man half the time. When you spread the defense out, unless you're playing cover 2 or some kind of rotation with the corner man-to-man.
Yeah.
He got his own words. He's just trying to hold up out there.
Yep. Well, I could talk to you all day, Coach. I think we're running out of time. George, I'll bounce it back to you, brother.
Oh, Herm. So we're going to leave with the 4 most important words of the day. How about them Cowboys?
How about, you know what? I'm on the Worldwide Leader tomorrow, and I hope they ask me about the Cowboys. If not, I'm sure I'm going to bring it up.
You are a piece of work.
Thanks, brother.
Love having you on. Thank you as always.
God bless you both. Thank you now.
That is one good man right there. He's also really funny, really entertaining. Herm Edwards joining us on the show. We'll come back and we will talk a little Lakers in Denver. They open tonight in the Mile High City. Stay tuned.
How am I going to get to work? My car's totaled.
Skylar, our team is making a call right now. We'll get you a rental car. Don't worry.
That's a relief.
Call us 24/7. We're here. We're going to help.
Year number 2 of the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night was awesome. And the reason is really simple. I chose Strike and Spare, and they were amazing. They have great food, great bowling, and a staff that is truly ready to go the extra mile to help you. They have 5 family fun centers in the area to choose from. And for more info, go to strikeandspare.com or call them at 615-824-5685. Now that the weather has gotten considerably warmer, there's not a better place to spend a morning or an afternoon than Riverside Golf Links. So you've probably noticed the weather has gotten a lot warmer, and that means a couple of things in Nashville. It means baseball, and it really means golf. And for me, it's a visit to Riverside Golf Links. The course has improved dramatically. There are now 27 holes, including a 9-hole executive course. If you want tee times or more information, dial them up at 615-847-5074.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between. Discover what Hit City has to offer. Single game tickets are on sale now.
Hello, this is Celeste Middleton, a State Farm agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I want to help my neighbors and local businesses be proactive and assess their risk before something unexpected happens. We want you to have a thorough understanding of your coverages to have the best protection when you need it. We can create a personal price plan for you. Our team has over 70 years of experience helping people in Middle Tennessee. We have an awesome team with integrity and provide honest and prompt communication, and we love what we do and genuinely care about everyone we work with at our office. Give us a call at 615-895-2700, send us a message at celestemiddleton.com, or walk in at our office at 803 North Thompson Lane in Murfreesboro. We would love to earn your business.
It's a really interesting time of the year for sports. We're down to a Final Four in the NBA. We're also now down to a Final Four in the NHL. And Kelly, on the NBA front, I'll admit my belief is that the Miami Heat have the least possibility of these 4 to win it all. But I do put that little asterisk out there in that Jimmy Butler could go absolutely crazy and take them to places they have no right to expect. That said, I still believe Miami has the least shot of the four. Would you buy that?
I do buy that. I think the Celtics are really good. I think they're hungry. I think they want to win a championship. This group, I just think they're more talented. But with that being said, I mean, I've talked about those undrafted kids there's 11 on the roster of the Heat, and they're hungry. They've been told that they aren't good enough their whole life. They are hungry for something, and they got the guy to do it, Jimmy Butler. He doesn't like the word. He doesn't like the phrase "playoff Jimmy," but that dude's unbelievable.
Playoff
and
Jimmy.
He's ridiculous. I didn't realize he was as big as he is. The guy's 6'7". I didn't realize that. You can't see that stuff on TV. All those basketball players. I remember when I was a long time ago when I started my career and I was in NFL Europe and we were down in Atlanta, and I went and watched the Hawks practice one day, just watching them through. And those guys are so tall and lanky. It's just unbelievable how big they are. It's amazing to see a football player and a basketball player, but he's kind of the X factor. Like if he plays good and he gets guys, and Kyle Lowry's been there too. He won one with the Raptors in Toronto.
Sure,
so he's kind of the experienced leader of that team, and he can help with that. I think I don't know if it's going to be a runaway like we think it may be. I just think the competitive vibe of the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra, who's really a good coach. Obviously Pat Riley brought him in, and he's been there for a long time. He managed LeBron and Dwayne Wade and all those guys to win 2 championships. You can't count them out, but I think you're absolutely right. I think the Celtics are just better than they are.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry is a guy. David talked about AD earlier, how he has to be AD for the Lakers, to win a title. I think for Kyle Lowry and the Heat, he has to be big for them, because if he doesn't show up at all, that makes it just as hard on Butler and the other cast of characters there. And Lowry played pretty well last year. I mean, he made some big shots. And so I think for the Heat, they got to have Lowry show up.
By the way, Spoelstra is the best of the 4 coaches left.
Never won Coach of the Year before.
Yeah, which is a crime.
That's ridiculous.
It's an absolute crime.
LeBron didn't want him there when he originally came to form that big 3. He said, "I don't want Spoelstra as my coach." Pat Riley said, "He's our guy. And
he's our guy.
To be
Deal
right.
with it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to persuade Pat Riley from what he's thinking. That's not happening.
And LeBron hasn't fared well with too many coaches, by the way, either. So, I mean, he's had some spiffs with other coaches.
So the networks, and this is not exactly breaking news, they want Boston and LA.
Yeah.
They want the Garden yelling, beat LA, because there is such history between Boston and LA. But Kelly, there's a part of me saying, give me Denver and Boston. I'm convinced today that Denver is the best team out there, and that it's more than just a little bitty gap. Now, I could be dead wrong, and the Lakers may cram it down my throat tonight. I'm going Denver. I'll just go ahead and tell you when we get to bet of the day. I really think Denver's pretty damn good.
You know what? Starting to watch Denver, weeks ago, months ago, I really like the way they play. I really do. I think they got 2 guys, and the Jokic and Murray guy, and they've got a cast of characters that are really good. I think they play well together. Denver's never won. They went there with Karl Malone and John Stockton, did they not? But they never won it.
Stockton and Malone were Utah.
Oh, excuse me. That's right. Utah.
Denver has never been to an NBA final.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've won ABA titles before they merged into the NBA, but never.
Yeah, I don't know where I went with
NBA.
Utah, but yeah, Denver's never won a championship, so they're really good, George. I've really enjoyed watching them. Their pace of play is really good. They can. I mean, even the big guy. I mean, I don't know. He's 7 foot something. Is he 7 foot, Jokic? But like that guy can get up and down the court. He hustles.
Oh, he's amazing.
I enjoy watching him play. He can make shots. It's fun to watch him, and I don't know why. like I said, I told Billy yesterday and David, I don't know why I'm for the Lakers. I just am, but like I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those teams. I think it's a point where I would like to see LeBron win another one. I don't know why. I've never really gotten into LeBron. I don't know why. I'm like, we just talked about it with Herm and the debate on that. But I don't know if they can beat Denver because Denver's really good this year.
I'm going to say the same thing I did with the last series between the Warriors and the Lakers. This series between the Nuggets and the Lakers are going to come down to the role players in my mind. Because Jokic and Murray, AD and LeBron are going to cancel each other out with the points they score. What other players are going to step up and take over a game? Denver has KCP, who used to play for the Lakers on that bubble championship. Aaron Gordon, who used to play in Orlando, a really good player. Reeves and Lonnie Walker, Hachimura, Schroeder. It's going to come down to those guys, and can you shoot the basketball well? The Lakers don't shoot the three-pointer very well. They get to the free throw line. That's where they get that disparity in points. Can Denver prevent fouling and keeping LA off the free throw line?
I'll go one other thing. If Jokic, and I don't think it'll be anywhere near as easy against Anthony Davis, but if he explodes like he did in the last series, I'll take my chances on Denver.
Yeah, I'm with you, George. And, we do talk about that three-point deal because the Lakers aren't – I mean, D'Angelo Russell's shooting the three ball really well, but, like, nobody else. Like LeBron's not a great three-point shooter. He can he can get hot at sometimes, but they just beat the team that is known for their three-point prowess.
And beat the fire out of them.
In Game 7. So – I don't know. I know that it's going to be must-see TV. I can't wait to watch it because I enjoy this time of year. To watch an NBA game during the regular season, not many people play defense, but when they got something and when they make it to this point where they're in the semis, then they got a chance to win the whole thing. They play defense. They want to win games.
The Celtics have kept the receipts of Billy saying he just doesn't believe in them. They're not that good. The Celtics are out to prove Billy wrong. Billy doesn't realize how good Jason Tatum really is, how good Jaylen Brown is. They just have a squad, and they're homegrown and built. They've added on piece by piece. They have veterans, Al Horford, Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams. Billy just doesn't understand. He was all for Embiid, and Jason Tatum showed him who was boss on Sunday.
Your boy just threw you under the bus.
Yeah, he's been throwing me under the bus these past few days. I mean, I deserve it. I was totally wrong about the Celtics. I'll admit it. But I also think you have to say the Sixers can't get it done. I mean, you're up 3-2 and you lose 2 straight. I know it's Boston, but you've got to go on the other side and say the Sixers can't ever get it done when the bright lights are on.
So let me take this a step further, y'all. So if the Sixers go on and go to the NBA Finals, I mean, can they beat either one of these teams in the West? Y'all think so?
If the Sixers had gotten there,
I mean, that means they would have beaten
Celtics.
Boston.
No, the Celtics. I mean the Celtics.
Oh, the Celtics.
The Celtics, yeah.
The Celtics, I think they could beat either one. Well, first of all, who would have home?
So Denver would have home
Denver
court
would have
because they're the
home.
1 seed.
And
Boston
would have
2 seed.
home against the Lakers.
Correct. The Lakers would only have home court against Miami, who's an 8.
Man, I can hear it. I can hear it in the background. Beat LA.
Beat LA.
Man, that rivalry in the 80s was the cat daddy of all of them.
Well, that's why they made a 3-part series on 30 for 30, you know, with the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics.
One of the best ones.
It was unbelievable. I can remember as a kid just watching that. I love Boston because I love Larry Bird. I couldn't stand the LA Lakers. I mean, you had to pick a side.
What was great is they had Ice Cube narrating the Lakers part, and then I forgot who did it for Boston, but I think it was Mark Wahlberg, maybe.
I turned it down.
But the Celtics are the favorite by Fox Sports to win the title at plus 100. The Nuggets are plus 225. Boston's just the depth. You know, the thing about them in the Philly series is I never felt that Boston wasn't the favorite. Even when they were down 3-2, I was like, Boston
it got a little interesting.
Boston can win a game
in
Philly. Well, that's the thing is Jason Tatum, for as bad as he played in those moments in those games, they still won the series.
Were there.
Imagine when he and Jaylen Brown actually play their potential night in and night out. It's not even close.
After the break, I'll take the Denver Nuggets. Plaster bet of the day, so stick around.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, Alaco Fine Wood Floors is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's choice for premium quality hardwood floors. Since 1995, Jimmy Alaco and his army of employees have embodied the approach of taking pride in one's craft and providing superior customer service, growing from a one-man shop to a team of 23 professionals who share the founder's passion for quality craftsmanship and customer satisfaction. If you are interested in contacting them, you can find their headquarters at 2505 Winford Avenue in Berry Hill, or give them a call at 615-356-0303. Again, that's 615-356-0303, or log on to alacofinewoodfloors.com. Alaco Fine Wood Floors, serving Middle Tennessee's hardwood flooring needs since 1995.
At Baird, we have a different slant on global financial advice. That global capabilities mean nothing without personal attention. We have investor relationships in 35 countries and market expertise in over 40 industry verticals, all to help make the most important investment connections of all, yours. Global financial advice with a client-first approach. It's the shape of things to come. Discover the Baird difference at bairdifference.com.
Hey, thank you for meeting with me today. The insurance company has made an offer.
Already? Wow.
They've offered you the entire policy.
Thank you, Blair.
You're so welcome.
Welcome back in. Final segment on a Tuesday. Just less than 4 hours away from tip-off of Game 1 of the conference finals out west in Denver. But it's time for Plaster's Bet of the Day, presented to you by Bart Durham Injury Law Firm. They are, simply put, the best in the business. They are lawyers you can trust. So give them a call at 615-242-9000 or log on to bartdurham.com. Before we get to tonight's game between Denver and LA, we go to last night, and George got a Game 7 victory with the Dallas Stars. Back above 500 for George on a little winning streak right here.
Where we should be, Kelly, and we'll be at the end of the evening 2 over 500 with the Denver Nuggets -6.
Awfully confident, huh?
He didn't even give me a chance to pull it up. He's confident tonight.
I just went ahead and yapped. I don't know. I just feel I'm convinced Denver is the best. The 3 that I think can win it all, Lakers, Boston, Denver. I think Denver's better than any of them. I'm going Denver.
I can't argue that. What I've seen so far, it seems like they're hungry too. They made it to the Western. Y'all talked about the bubble in Orlando. They made it down there. They got beat by LA, but it seems like they're hungry for it. They're playing well. They've got a bunch of role guys that play well, and they help Jamal Murray and Jokic. So they're really good.
Kelly, tomorrow on the show, we're going to learn why the annual cocktail party, Georgia versus Florida, may be kind of going away back to Athens and Jacksonville.
Oh, really?
That's one of the things. And then we have Kelly's World of Football. And Kelly, I have figured out, and I'm going to call you in a few minutes, where you're going tomorrow. I am going to steer you.
Oh, you're going to steer me tomorrow, huh?
How about that?
Hey, that's good for this time of year because it's awful slow in the NFL.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's hard to get fired up about the Scottish Claymores and the Rhine Fire. Which one did you play for?
You remember, I played for the Barcelona Dragons.
Did you? Do you have paraphernalia of theirs?
I do. You want me to bring? Yeah, I'll bring a helmet tomorrow and show you the.
Do it. Do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Barcelona Dragons, baby.
And also your brother in Blue Raiders, Wes Counts.
Wes Counts, yeah.
Will be coming to the studio tomorrow.
Good.
How about
That'd
that?
be good. We get to talk to Wes a little bit, see how he functions under this pressure.
Oh, you are a piece of work. How about them Cowboys?
How about them, man? That was funny, too. That was I didn't realize. I'm glad David brought that up. 5 wins since 1995.
Yeah. One of them was Arizona Cardinals. Remember, they beat Tampa this year.
But that doesn't really count. That Tampa team was in decline.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Well, I mean, who gets to determine what counts?
Well, they made it. They made it in a terrible division.
This is your chance to get even.
It doesn't count, according to David.
It doesn't count because that NFC South was terrible last year.
They were 7-9 making the playoffs.
Decide what counts and what doesn't.
Terrible.
David's the end all be all on what title counts.
Weren't they like 8-9 making the playoffs? I think they had a losing record.
Yeah, they had a losing record.
It was 8-9.
I never heard anybody do that to Seattle when they beat New Orleans, or was it the other way around?
They had the losing record and beat New Orleans. So
anyway, join us tomorrow. It won't be dull. Kelly, behave, wear a collared shirt.
Okay, I will for you tomorrow. You want me to put a tie on too? I can do that.
No.
I looked spiffy the other night at my daughter's wedding. That was nice.
I haven't heard about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
See you.
See all of you then. Thanks for being with us.